And what is up, everybody? Alright, this is a big moment because this is the first video I'm doing with Kick Punch Block. That's right, Ninja 6531 is now partnered with Kick Punch Block. So anytime I say anything that has to do with video games, is going to be shared with them as well. And shout out to my boy Afro Dynamic. And so let's get on with this now. Remember my review and rant about the man with the iron fist, RZA's kung fu epic. Now, it was not a bad story. You know, it was his first movie, so his inexperience showed as far as how to properly tell it. You know, however, they got the second movie coming out. And at the same time, Mortal Kombat's coming out, and we just found out that Predator. That's right, the Predator is going to be downloadable content. And I got to thinking, it's like, wait a minute, they've had, Freddy Krueger as downloadable content. They've had Kratos on the game as well. And if you remember Soul Calibur, for Soul Calibur 2, you had, if you got it for each individual console, you had Link, you had Heihachi Mishima, and you had Spawn. And then in Soul Calibur 4, you had Yoda, you had Darth Vader, and you even had Starkiller. It was definitely interesting to see that. And I started thinking to myself, why not have the blacksmith as a downloadable character? But the man with the iron fist is universal, and obviously Mortal Kombat is Warner Brothers under NetherRealm. Then I thought, wait a minute, that movie, both movies are filled with all these different colorful characters. Why couldn't it just get its own video game altogether? I mean, there's tons of crappy licensed video games that were based off of movies. But granted, some of them were pretty good. Prime example, GoldenEye. Redefined first-person shooters. Just pretty much set the standard for what a first-person shooter should be. At first, the only ones you had was Doom, and then when GoldenEye comes out, just completely blew that. Took it up a whole other level. As far as like any crappy licensing game based off of movies, you guys know plenty. Okay, I don't need to break out the list of what was good and what wasn't. But even if it was a bad one, at least it would have been fun and interesting to look into. I mean, it would have been a better way to better expand the story, kind of like I forget the name of the Matrix game that coincided with Matrix Reloaded, and that's where you got to play as either Ghost or as I forget Jada Pinkett's character's name. Well, you got to play as either of them, and that again, just a licensing, just a licensed game to coincide with the movie and get mixed reviews with that. To do that, to be able to have done that with the man with the iron fist, it would have been interesting to either play as the blacksmith, to play as X-Blade, to play as Jackknife, to go a little bit more into the story, to fight against Brass Body, to fight against Bronze and Silver Lion, to team up with the Black Widows and the with Madam Butterfly, Lady Silk, all these other different things, and on top, it has just been so colorful, so if nothing else, just very entertaining and a very fun game. Not to mention very violent. I see no reason why, especially now, they can't do that. It would definitely prove interesting. Just to have those characters and be able to control them, and have different move sets for each individual character, and even have the actors, even have the actors come back and do the voiceovers, do like an expanded version of the story of the first movie. It would, even if it would wind up being like reminiscent of Wu-Tang Clan Shaolin style. Mixed reviews about that game. Uh, it was different from your regular fighting games. You weren't able to jump. You had the entire back and foreground to use. Um, able to grab stuff, and then the fact that it was with the Wu Tang Clan was probably why a lot of people didn't take it seriously, and probably why nobody ever thought to try to use that fight engine again. But then when EA came out with Def Jam Vendetta, which is which is one of the most underrated wrestling games ever made. I mean, it was great. It was just it was just a great alternative to WWE and and like anything else that was out at the time. It was a lot more fun because you had the hip hop, you had the crazy moves, and you had all these different Def Jam artists. It was it was just awesome. And then of course which led to the whole Def Jam fighting game franchise, which ended abruptly and poorly with Def Jam Icon. That being said, it the Man with the Iron Fist, like I said, was not a terrible movie. If first off, RZA needs to understand that, dude, you're not a martial artist. I don't care how many kung fu movies you watched. If you've never you've never actually spent anywhere training aside from these two movies, you're not really a martial artist. I understand you're a big kung fu movie fan, but that's as far as it goes. And a game for the Man with the Iron Fist would be epic. Uh, it could also be Shaq Fu, but it could also be like it could also be like a Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks. Do it like that if you have to. Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks was a great retelling of Mortal Kombat 2, and it was a different way to play altogether. It was more like a beat 'em up than just a regular 2D fighter, and there was a lot of people enjoyed that game. I enjoyed that game very much. And anyway, I'm done talking. You guys have a good night.